Welcome to Daily Living Let's Talk. Thank you for tuning in on today. We have an exciting guest with us on today, and I'm eager to dig in and allow her to share with us some great information on how we can become better as it relates to teens, as it relates to mentoring each other as women, and so forth and so on. So I introduce to you today our wonderful guest. I'm your host, Sherita Smith, and my guest today is Miss Collins. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for having me today.
Yes, thank you for coming. I'm excited about this topic on today about mentoring, especially with the world that we're living in today.
Absolutely.
We truly, truly need it.
Absolutely.
So give me some information, some advice on if I was a parent and I have a teen child, especially these girls, on how to, make a better relationship.
Absolutely.
With them.
So just by way of a little bit of background, I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm still in Baltimore, Maryland. And I have an older brother, and my mom was a single parent.
Okay.
And she worked really, really, really hard to provide for my brother and I.
Okay.
One of the most important things that my mother always stressed to us was that education would be our ticket to success. Mm-hmm. My mother has a high school education, and she worked in retail and minimal skilled jobs for the majority of her life, but she was always very adamant to me and my brother that education was going to be the key to our success. And so through her hard work, we had the good fortune of going to private school. And the reason why I bring that up, the importance of that to me is that private school really gave us an opportunity to see an entire different world.
Okay.
It gave us the opportunity to see something beyond, the four corners of the neighborhood that we lived in, beyond, the parameters of our family. It really opened our eyes to a whole different world that, a lot of children don't even realize exists. Throughout my childhood and throughout my career, I have had the good fortune of having some amazing mentors.
Okay.
Some amazing women who set examples for me, not just about career or school, but they represented a person that I personally felt like I wanted to be. Wow. I wanted to emulate. Yeah. They helped me to grow as a woman. They helped me to grow as a businesswoman. They helped me daily to grow as a wife and a mother and a friend. And, I look back on those experiences and I just think about how fortunate I was. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't have any little sisters. I was the baby. But over the years, I have, along the way, adopted many young women as my little sisters. Because I think that mentoring young women is so incredibly important, especially in this day and age where, fashion dictates that you have to be half naked to get any attention. True. Where, music dictates that, we refer to each other as derogatory terms and, and that's acceptable. Mm-hmm. It's so important for young women to see that, you can be sought after, you can be successful, you can be happy, you can be in love, you can have all of those things. And you don't have to sacrifice
Right.
your integrity. You don't have to be degraded.
That's right.
You know, you don't have to be looked at as a sexual object in order to obtain those things.
Right.
And so growing up, I have some younger cousins. I was always the cool cousin. You know, I was the cousin that everybody wanted to talk to, that everybody felt comfortable sharing whatever was going on, you know, in their life with. And one of the things that I learned from my mother was no judgment.
Okay.
As a parent, my mother was remarkable at being able to listen to me all the way out, like literally to the end of my sentence, before she showed any emotion, before she made any comment, before she expressed her disapproval. She was always very good at listening. And I talk to mothers a lot, and they, you know, they say, "Oh, I want you to talk to my daughter. Oh, I think you'd be a great, you know, role model for her, or a great mentor for her." And it's actually been probably one of the best accomplishments in my life, I think, is to be able to relate to young women and to encourage them and to help them stay on, you know, the path that God has laid for them,
Right.
and to help them just value themselves better. And I think that my message to parents would be to listen. Listen. Just hear them all the way out.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to agree. But listen, you know, listening is so incredibly important. And our youth, that's what they're lacking. They feel like nobody listens. No one's paying attention, and nobody cares. And, you know, you sit and you talk to somebody and you engage with them and you spill your entire heart out, and they're with you every second of the conversation. You feel like, wow, they really care. And that's what our youth wants. That's what our little girls want.
Yeah.
They want somebody to care about them.
Let me ask you this. You're mentoring
Yes.
as we speak?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So have you had anyone that was challenging? You know how that can be?
Absolutely. So I had a young lady who, she was very similar backgrounds in terms of our growing up. And she would be a little rebellious to my suggestions, I think. You know, she would tell me things that were going on, and maybe she didn't want to exactly hear my opinion or what I thought or what my suggestions were. And so I had to explain to her, you know, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear.
Right.
I'm not here to tell you that you're always right. You're going to make whatever decisions that you want to make in life. My job is to prepare you, prepare you to make those decisions, and then prepare you for the ramifications of those decisions. Some kids are tougher.
Yeah.
And they're tougher because it's been a long time of being ignored. It's been a long time of feeling deserted. It's been a long time of feeling unworthy or hopeless. And so, you know, yeah, those nuts are a little more difficult to crack. Absolutely. But you can't give up.
Yeah.
You can't give up.
Yeah.
And you have to invest time into showing them something that's different than where they are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what are some of the exciting things that you do with them, other than, you know, of course, you talk to them and you listen to them?
Absolutely.
Do you all do activities and stuff like that? You know, exposing them to different things as it relates to life and what life has to offer.
Absolutely. I'm an attorney.
Okay.
And so that's very fascinating to a lot of the young women that I interact with and the ones that I mentor. So I allow them to come to court with me. You know, I take them to different events that are geared in justice, you know, that are about the law today and how the law today affects them, how it'll affect them tomorrow, you know. I try to do a lot of things that make them aware, whether it is talking about the political atmosphere in the city, whether it is talking about different events that have occurred across the country. The most recent and most popular topic, of course, is, you know, the police brutality throughout the country that we're seeing, inflicted not only on our young men, but also on our young women, you know. And so having an opportunity to talk to them about that, taking them to events, you know, letting them get dressed up. All little girls want to feel beautiful. All little girls want to feel beautiful. And there's nothing like seeing their faces when they look in the mirror and their hair is pretty and they have their makeup on and they're pretty dressed. And so I just really focus on trying to give them experiences that are kind of couched in an ability to feel good about themselves on the inside.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Now, do you do like Pamper Me days where, you all go to the spa and get your nails done, get your feet done, the hygiene side of, being a woman and taking care of your body and stuff like that?
We definitely do those things, and we also do etiquette things. We go to dinner, we talk about proper table etiquette, we talk about drugs, we talk about alcohol, we broach all of those subjects. And mentoring young women is about more than just helping them choose a career path. Some people really need to know that they have a cheerleader in life.
Yes.
And so that's why those things are important. The spa days and the dinners and, going to see different people speak and the cultural events. It's important because for a lot of these young women, some of their circumstances are such though they can't even think about their career or what they want to be when they grow up because they're so focused on trying to make sure they grow up.
Right.
And so those types of activities are equally as important.
Now, with your career, how do you find the time to incorporate all of that with, what you do on a day-to-day basis? So do you say, okay, I'm going to do this once a month, twice a month? How does that work for you with all that you have going on in your personal life?
I involve myself in a lot of organizations whose primary focus is the encouragement and empowerment of young women. Through those organizations, we are able to put on events 1, 2, sometimes even 3 a month, where we're bringing these young women together, or we're doing activities with them individually. It's a sacrifice, but it's an important sacrifice because your legacy is about what you leave behind.
Right.
One of my favorite people is Shirley Chisholm. And one of the things that she always says is, service is the price we pay for living on earth. And it's so incredibly true. We can make time for the things that are important to us. True. And it just has to be important. And this is something that is so incredibly important to me.
That's true.
Because I was fortunate enough to have someone, or many someones, who was important to them as well.
Yeah. Now, you're married?
I am.
You have children?
I have a 4-year-old little boy.
Wow. So, you have a lot, that you have to be a wife, you have to be a mom, and then a mentor, and then, again, your career, your line of work. Are there days or times where you feel like, let me just steal away and have my moment?
Absolutely. It's important. It's absolutely important. It's important for young women to know that they have to take care of themselves. And you have to take care of yourself first before you take care of anybody else.
That's true.
Because, your inner peace is for you.
Yeah.
If you give everything away to everybody else, you'll have nothing left for for yourself. Yeah. So I definitely find my time to have my time. I find my time to, in the mornings, get up. I sit in my closet, and that's my time with God. I can read my Bible. I can do my prayers. I have my own relaxing time. Probably not enough as my husband thinks I might need, but you take advantage of it when you can.
Yes. Now, is he into the mentoring piece as it relates to young men as well?
Absolutely. He is he's in finance.
Okay.
And for young, especially African American men, finance is often a very difficult field to break in. And so he spends a lot of time with young men through various different organizations, helping them with business plans and mentoring them with school choices and career choices. We both are very much dedicated to community service, and not just community service, but specifically to kids. We're both inner city kids. We both grew up and we made it here. And in our opinion, it could have been any one of us. It could have been any one of our friends. So we spend a lot of time making sure that we give back, and we instill that in our son as well.
That's great. That's great. I heard you earlier on during our conversation, you said that you had the opportunity to go to private school. Have you ever went to public school, or all of your life you've went to private school?
So I went to public school for elementary school, and then I went to private school for middle school and high school.
Okay.
And my mother invested so much of her financial resources in our education that we were catching the bus from the hood to the private school. So most of my friends that I grew up with went to public school.
Okay.
And it's a good opportunity, I guess, to see two different cultures, because private school is definitely a culture of it all its own.
Okay.
All its own.
So I don't know that I'm being, but would you say that private school has a better turnout as it relates to education versus public school?
I think that the benefit of private school is that it's smaller. And whenever you have a smaller number of kids in a classroom and a more dedicated teacher, you're going to have better results. Now, that's not to say that you're guaranteed that your child is going to be a brain surgeon if you send them to private school, because there's definitely a home balance to that too.
Okay.
I mean, my mother made it very clear that C's were unacceptable. And if you came home with a C, to her that was equivalent to you just failed a class or you just failed an exam. So you knew that you needed to get back into your room and you needed to study. And so that the home component of it is so incredibly important. We're at the point in our household now where we're trying to determine where we're going to send our son. Is he going to go to private school, or is he going to go to public school? But one thing that we both understand is that the home piece is definitely equally as important. So private school can definitely offer some benefits and opportunities that you may not get in public school, but that's just a result of resources. But I have many friends who have gone to public school and who have taken advantage of the opportunities and who have had that really good home structure, and they have come out to be extremely successful in their professions.
Okay. So that's great news.
Yeah.
Because everyone is not in a position to perhaps go to a public school. And, being though you were fortunate enough to experience both.
Absolutely.
That's why I was asking which one did you think best suited, your need.
Absolutely.
However, with that, would you say that, your mom saying coming home with a C is like failing a class, would you have considered your mom strict?
No.
Or you appreciate it now that you're older, but back then,
the running joke with me and my mother is that she was not strict at all. I would never describe her as a strict parent.
Okay.
And I always say that the amount of freedom that my brother and I had, my child will never, ever, ever have. Never have. She wasn't strict, but it was very clear what was important to her. And because it was important to her, she made it a priority. And we learned at a young age that when something is a priority, when something's important, you focus all of your energy and your attention and your effort on it. So what that helped us create was a very strong work ethic.
Okay.
So she wasn't strict, but she definitely gave us some very important tools that probably at the time we couldn't appreciate it.
Right.
But now in life, we realize how important it is.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. And now y'all ready to instill that in your son.
And my son and, and my mentees. And just, I want to make sure that every life that I touch, I can make it a little bit better.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, are all of your mentees out of school, or some are in school?
It's a mix. I have some that are in high school. I have some that are in college. I have some that are out of college and kind of just starting to figure their way out through life.
Okay.
I invite anybody, you know, and it doesn't have to be a formal mentor-mentee relationship, but I always exercise an open door policy. I want young women to know that if they have questions about anything, they can come to me. And they'll always tell you that, Miss Tiffany, you can talk to her about anything. I get some of the strangest questions sometimes, but, you know, there's a curiosity about it. And as long as there's a question there should be an answer for that question.
I agree. And that's wonderful. So you have a collaboration of school, college, out of college. Some of them go to college and spend 4 years or however, and still I'm not sure if that's what I want to do.
Absolutely.
And so they come to you with advice. What do you suggest? You know, what do you think I should do?
Yes. You know, and the funny thing is that I still have mentors, actually. And I still have people that I call on a daily basis and say, you know, I'm not really sure about this, or let me run this situation past you, or I would love to get your advice on this, because it's important. We all need sounding boards.
That's true.
You know, they say it takes a village to raise a child,
Right.
you know, but learning is fundamental. It never expires. There's always more to know. There's always, you know, more knowledge to gain. And the more you want to know, the more knowledge that you want to gain, you know, you need to look for people out there who are going to be able to give you those tools and those resources. So whether you're 6 years old or you're 60 years old, it's always good to have a sounding board, and it's always good to have someone whose advice and opinion you value, because you know that they value you.
That's true. Now let me ask you this. What would your advice be if one of your mentees were to come to you and say, Miss Tiffany, I don't think college is for me? What is your advice?
Well, you know, it's true. College isn't for everybody. And I mean, if that were the case, then you know, we wouldn't have people who were successful without college.
It's true.
My advice is always to have a plan, right? And then how do we execute that plan? You don't think college is for you. Okay, well, what do you think is for you?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Yeah.
So how do you think you can get to that point,
Yeah.
if not through college? What resources do you think you're going to need? How are you going to obtain those resources? I just challenge them to think and to problem solve and to figure out what they need to do to achieve their goals.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I'm a firm believer, like you said, that college isn't for everyone. But however, there are trade schools.
Absolutely.
There is no excuse for why you can't be what you desire to be in life.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And so I push, if you don't want to go to school, I push trade, learn something, get something under your belt.
Absolutely.
You know, so that when this fail, if that be the case, you have something else
Absolutely.
to fall back on.
Absolutely.
And so my son, I have a 21-year-old son. He'll be 22.
Congratulations.
Yeah, he went to school for culinary arts, and so he'll be graduating in June.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Worked 2 jobs, you know, good kid. I didn't always, you know, have I wish, let me say this before I even go into the resources part, because even if you don't have the resources, there are so many other things that you can do.
Correct.
To get resources.
Absolutely.
And I wish that as a mom, I would have been more involved in pushing him as it relates to some other areas in his life that he wanted to grow in. Sometimes life and some of the things that we go through can consume us.
Absolutely.
And cause us to not give our 100%
Absolutely.
To our children.
Absolutely.
And so I think that that's a wonderful thing that you're doing as it relates to mentoring, and I'm trying to catch up with making up with investing, you know,
Having
in mine.
having a child, I tell people all the time that children will bring to light your worst flaws. Like any flaw you ever have had in life, having a child and being a parent will totally bring that to light.
Yes.
And you have to forgive yourself.
Yeah.
It should be called the practice of parenting, like the practice of medicine and the practice of law, because there's no right answer to it. And you do your best, and you have the resources that you have and the skill set that you have, and that's what you do. You have the knowledge that you have, and you do your absolute best. Yeah. And then you pray.
That's right.
And you love hard and you pray harder. Yes. And that's what I'm learning. And so, I've had conversations with my mom before where she, was sad that she wasn't able to do this or wasn't able to be in this place or provide this. But, she gave us so many amazing things that you can't give them everything.
That's true.
You can't give them everything.
That's true.
So you just got to love them. You love them and you pray for them.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Tiffani, for being on the show today.
Absolutely.
I appreciate all of your advice. I pray that it blessed you. I pray those that are listening grabbed hold to that and apply it and grow from it. And let's become a better us as a result of the information that was shared today. Lord, we thank you, we praise you, and we glorify you for the awesome information that you have released into our ear gates and in our hearts on today. I pray that you will bless and favor your people from this day forth. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Thank you for watching. I look forward to you joining us again at Daily Living Let's Talk. Welcome to Daily Living Let's Talk. I'm your host, Sherita Smith, and I have an exciting guest with me here on today. I pray that you don't turn that channel. I have
I'm Apostle Daniel Andrews.
And I'm Pastor Lynette Andrews.
We are the founders of New Birth Life Church. And we're excited to tell you about our new adventure, NBL Cafe, which began back in the beginning of the year.
We gather the first Friday of every month at 7 p.m. We are opening up our doors to the community so that people have a place to come to see Christian entertainment, fellowship, and yes, don't forget the coffee.
We are bringing the truth of the gospel of Jesus Christ in a non-traditional setting. There will be all kinds of artists sharing their passions, including music, painting, dancing, comedy, drama, and yes, even guest speakers.
So come on out.
Join us. Come and see what God is doing in this new season
At NBLC.